All right, so last time we had the photographs, and let me see if I'll get the layer. What I did here, I'll show you. I took the photo that we had on my phone, which was this photo here, and I changed the size. I made it a little bigger. I took the the guy in various layers, like took his hat out. So this would be the hat, right? So that's the two, and then I like literally just took the guy, tried to make like a fake hair for him, yada yada yada, and then I moved him in various poses. I can't remember all the like all the things that I did with him, but we have some options so that we can experiment when we're dealing with the how is he determining that it is a man and a bounding box. I want to look at that in that code, and I don't know, but let's see if maybe this bounding box is here and this bounding box is here. They're not overlapping, and that's how he's distinguishing. We did see that it doesn't seem to be only uploading images when there's a person. It seems to be uploading pictures every second period. That needs to be looked at as well. All right, so let me bring in our login to the AWS cloud. Anyway, so what up? So yeah, and I'll quit this. All I did was, and we're gonna discard changes here. I made a folder with like man with a safety hat. Well, that's a project. No, man with a. This is like a picture of the guy with the hat on, without the hat. Got the fake hair, uh, but it has left right. I think yeah. I think I just moved the guy to a different to the lower right. Here he has no safety hat. I think he's in the same place. There, it's a man in a safety hat, but they're in two different quadrants of the frame. All right, so let me pull up my AWS console. I want to log in. 1 second. Thankfully, I've been remembering to cut this thing off. Oh, but I forgot to turn on the. Oh yeah. So the last thing I'll do before I show you this is I took those pictures. Is I can't tell if I'm on camera or not. I'll drag this
Yeah,
over and I'll click on my so the stream sees it. So that's like the photo. That's the photo with two quadrants. That's the photo of the guy. That's the photo of the guy in the other quadrant. I meant to put the guy's head down there for that, and I forgot to do it. But there we go. We got that. All right. And I'm gonna turn the. Also, I got to turn the camera on. Forgot about that. So we've got the AWS deeplens camera here. Sometimes it takes a while. I'm plugging it in and turning it on. It seems to take 2 times to get it to become active or online. And this is me. Why doesn't? And you're seeing the console, right? AWS console now.
yes.
Usually, like your favorites, recently visited, all that stuff is there. That's what I was looking for. But I don't have any. It's like it's lost my favorites. Huh, weird. All right, so let's look for deeplens. I could search for it and go right to it, but I don't like to. There it is. Try to remember where they are based upon their categories. We clicked it. I think it's going to come up. Yep. All right. Let's look and see if what our device status is. So he's there, but he's offline. I'm going to turn him off. I'm going to unplug him, plug him back in a second time. Can't do anything until he's online. Once again, just to kind of review, we'll look at the way he is. This is the service, right? Here's your devices. The devices have a project, but they list the projects before the devices. So you can go to projects, devices, all the same, right? Associated with this device, this is our name. There's our project. He's registered. Device status is, we got an IP address, yada yada yada. So let's look at the project. Pardon me. We're gonna go to the device. Go to the device. We'll look at the output here, and we'll try to send up some photos with, we're at 1310. Is he active? Maybe he's not active. Let's close this. I thought I saw him online. He's online. Okay. Alright. Everything, it seems to take twice. Is this going to fix it? Nope. Nope. All the lights on the camera are all lit as blue. Okay, let's see what we're doing wrong here. We've got the certificate installed. It still has a warning on it. Let's try this again. There we go. All right. We're at 1311. All right, so he sees a person. I'm not sure. He sees a sofa somehow, but there's a person. Okay, so we've got that one at 1311. We'll put this up at 1311 as well. Is he picking that up as a person? He sees my hand as a person. We're at 1312. Okay, he's seeing a person. 1312. So we were at 1311 and 1312, right? We should have made notes on these times. Stop, Stimpy. There's a person at 1312 for sure. Okay. We'll get the code up here in a second. This is the last one. It's not seeing a person. I wonder if I can...
Yeah, no, it saw the person.
Okay.
I don't think it saw the hat.
Yeah.
It just said person.
Yeah, I think, well, for this first modeler, the only thing he does is he classifies people.
The person, okay.
He doesn't have... He has classes. There's like 20 classes. We've seen sofa a couple of times, right? But we never saw like car or anything, right? So now stop, Stimpy. Stop. Get back. Get back. Get back.
See the person.
He's a person, yeah. Okay. I gotta put him outside. Be right back. Come on. about that. Okay, so all right, so let's go back. Yeah, so we can get to there's two lambda functions here in place we're going to look at today. But if we go back to this device and then go into the project, right? We'll now go to the function so there's a model doing object detection on the camera. So there's some inference is done on the edge here, right? That's good, right? But that also means that this camera device has to have more going on it, right? So, all right. So anyway, so let's click on the function code here. And this is the one Laverna was saying it only has like 20 classes, right?
And the other one, once it gets up there, then it figures out if there's a person in there or not for the other one.
Yeah. So we're gonna look at that. He's the one. Well, what you're seeing here, this is being done by this code. I would say I shouldn't say that. I should say this device is doing it, and then I think he's putting the frame on top of it. So the bounding boxes and the probabilities. So, but we need to look at this more, right? But here are the 20 classes that he's looking for. Right. Okay. Do we see sofa on there? Yeah, we see sofa, right?
Mm-hmm.
All right. And then while true, he's doing each frame. He's going with the model that's associated with this device, right? He's doing inference. Inference is prediction. So you've got a model that you've trained, a machine learning model you've trained, and now you're going to give it something that's unknown and have it predict what the class is, right? So inference prediction, that's what that is. He's doing this. The very first thing here that's interesting is he says detected person false as a flag, right? So he's saying if the model said that guy was this, he's building a frame around it. He's putting the text. So this CV2, I think that's your video. Let's see what that is again. CV2. Where is it? Here it's used, but where is, let's do a find, copy. Okay, good. What is CV2? That's a library. Computer Vision 2, maybe. Python library CV2, PY. Python web CV2. Computer Vision. OpenCV. So it's the OpenCV library. That's what they're calling it. Very good. OpenCV is the library for, you can use it, people use it everywhere, right? But so it's not an unknown, it's a well-known library. It's probably pretty simple. So that is definitely, this code is deployed, my understanding, on this device, right? So he's called, and then it's put in a frame, all of this. This is where a label is going for this cloud output. He's changing here, local display, right? And then he's publishing it. What was this other cloud output? Cloud output is the JSON text that he's building up. And he puts this to the IoT topic. Okay, so we're good. I think we've got all that noted. One thing we'll do, we'll pull up that GitLab. Hopefully it will let me in and we can just look at it. Maybe we can, I don't have to sign in. Let's see, let me take it over here because it's not. I gotta get my phone for my authenticator. Yada, I got it on me. A second, I'm trying to type in a code here. Merge that into here, yeah. So let's see, I think we mentioned all of this stuff, yada yada yada. We've got it there. But he's putting to a topic, where is the S3 code? I thought this guy also did something where he pushed it to S3. Yeah, right here, okay. Push to S3, where is this called again? Hello, Kathy, I think that was who joined. Welcome, we're talking about the deeplens device. So, let's see, where was he called at? Yeah, if detected person. Okay, so what he's saying is here in this frame, this is in that infinite run thing. If he detected a person, right, then he's going to push it to S3. But what we'll see is he's pushing to S3 all the time. I don't understand why. I don't know why the failure is there, because if you look at this, let's look and see where he's setting it true and false. Let's go to the first one. All right. So surely that's not the first one. Let's go here. Detected person. Yeah. Okay. So I think that could be a problem there. Let's make a note of that. Am I typing? Go to the latest. So we're on the latest, and maybe we're not running this one. I'm gonna have to check. I'm just sitting here thinking for a second. That okay, so here, so he's setting, okay, so what he's doing is he's setting it false there. The next time he looks at it, he's setting it false again. Alright, odd. He's still in the same loop, right? So he set it again. Now, if in that probability table, so when you do the inference and you come back, it's going to be for all 20 classes that you've got, what are the probabilities of each of those classes in that frame, right? So and where they are. In any place it could be true. So I also remember sometimes when we were doing this, we were getting like the edge of this bottle, So this actually may be actually valid. It's just maybe that probability threshold needs to be adjusted. So we'll keep that in mind. I thought the other thing I thought was a problem's not a problem. All right, and then if it's true, yeah. And where? Let's look at this again. There's the S3. He had something up here before, like sending up some data, but that's that. Just to make sure this code is running the latest, and we also want to see the console. But let's just go ahead and look at the other function. So that was this guy. That's the function that's running on the deeplens. This is the code that's running on the cloud. Yada yada yada. He also does something, and what we're going to try to do is look at these bounding box things with those test images and see what happened there. So let's see if we can find. He's pushing the cloud watch. This is the entry point here, yeah. Alright, let's see if we can't log something. Let's see. Anybody know how to do AWS Python print to log? So I don't have to look it up.
Hey, John, I'm not familiar.
Yeah.
Are you logging to the console?
Yeah. Let's see if this. Here's a document. Let's see how if we can do it. Let's. So he's just importing OS and print. He's just doing a print, regular print. Okay. All right. And you're gonna use the Lambda console. All right. So let's go ahead and put that in there and see if we're gonna just put a stub. Okay, and let's see, how does he say to log to watch it? Open the logs group page. Amazon CloudWatch console. And we've got that. Let's just go ahead and open link and new tab. See where it sends us to. It's still coming up. Wow, that's a lot. Okay. Choose a log group for your function, AWS Lambda, your function name. This one. Choose a log string. Okay. We haven't deployed anything, but let's see. Yeah, okay. Alright. Let's go over here. And we'll look for JFD. We'll save this. Save. We'll deploy. We're going to see if we can see the log coming up, and then we're going to go look at S3. Now he said streams. Let's go back to this. $13.23. We're at $13.28. be off. Let's refresh. 1329. Alright, that might be like new function started. Nope, there we go. There's our testy JFD. So you can see it's running inference, right? Does it have what the file? Let's see if we put in what is the image from S3 that we're using. It doesn't show. Okay, so let's put that in because we want to make sure that we're looking at the image. So he's getting the object. Since it's, let's see, image name right there. Okay. Alright, so let's we're going to find out what he's looking at in S3, right? We're going to do that, and then we're going to go over and start looking at a few other things here. Okay. And we're going to put two of these. Let's deploy this version. Might be better if this was dragged a little closer. Okay. Andrew, I didn't realize you were here. How are you?
Doing well, thanks, John. Sorry to join late.
No worries. No worries.
Yes.
Yeah, we're getting more people here at 1 than we do for GCP. All right, so we're at 1329, but we're at 1331. So maybe he is deployed right there. Yeah. All right, so that is indeed our bucket. That's indeed, you know, everything in that bucket starts with persons. This is the day. This is the time. So it was at 1331, right? And then that's the file name. We looked at that last time, and literally what you would see is when you went over here, you would see it's this image. It would be the live stream image, which should be just the raw video. Yeah, the raw video like that, right? So that's that. All right, and then over here, the function code that we looked at the first time is adding that. All right, so let's do this. And it has to have a picture here. So get down. So you can't do it like this, right? So let's put this guy with a safety hat up, and we'll verify that it works.
It found the dog.
Did it find him? Okay, very good.
Yes.
I wish someone would take him instead of finding him. Okay, there we go. Person 37%. Let's wait till it rolls around to 1334. Hopefully it won't be that long. As soon as we see 1334. All right, 1334. Come on, let's go. 1334.
John, is this algorithm good at doing two-dimensional recognition, or is it doing better with 3D recognition?
I think it's just all 2D, but I'm not sure. There, okay, 1334. He sees a couple of people. Okay, let's try that. All right, let's just go back over to here. Here. 1334. Stop it, please. Stop it. Stop it, please. Leave me alone. I want to put you outside. My kids left and they alright, so it's probably gonna be in this 1331 then. So let's just go ahead, go back to him. 1334. No newer events. None of these came up with safety hat. I'm looking. We were definitely 1334. None of them got recognized. So the image got up. So let's go back up here. So still the images are going up every second, right? But the code on the cloud, he never saw it. He never qualified that as a person with a safety hat, right? So let's do this again and get it a little closer to the frame. And I'm gonna have to put you outside. Franklin let them out, let them back in when they left. Come on. You know, maybe as I was leaving, one of the things I was thinking, we ought to do two things. Let's detach this tab. And let's detach the Cloud Watch tab, but I think you got to hit refresh on that. Okay, all right, and let's just drag this over to here for now. So we've got this running. This will be what we'll guide with. And is this? Can we auto update? Is there any way to anybody know, is there a way to get this to auto update? I guess not. I guess not. You have to click on the refresh. No, it's auto updating itself. It's just going at the bottom. So can you order it a different way? It's not. I'm just looking. Okay. Let's just keep it like this. But you still have to keep up scrolling. I guess I can do two hands at a time. Okay. So he's the only person in the frame. Okay. We're looking for with safety hat. We did this on my phone and this worked. What is the, does this need to be lower, maybe? Trying to get it so it's up a little bit closer. Okay, let's try that. It's odd. He sees three people. This is pretty much the only thing that's there. Why would he do that? Why would he do that? Let's try it on the phone, because we knew it worked on the phone before. None of those worked. Okay. See if I can find it again. Let's see. There is a person with a safety hat, right? So he's being seen. It's also picking up my shoulder and my hand, but this, maybe it's the black around it is the problem. He's not seeing this guy. Put him really close so there's like nothing else to be seen. There, hey. Close up, it sees him. So that's good, right? That's good. So we know that will work. But what about this is the same scale, right? It's just that the hat is over. Let's see if that works. That should not, right? Because the person in the hat are. I'm gonna get this in there.
I'm trying to maybe see two people. I'm not sure. It sees the hat. Oh,
Expected messages. His hat is also.
Yeah, he's not picking it up
okay.
now. All right. The one thing that we should do to this code, bring the code back. Let's try to see, put on this code if we detect a person and if we detect a hat. Because we know that's one of the things he's doing. Let's look and see how he's doing it here. It's in this routine. I was looking backwards. Okay, controls. Alright, okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to do this. We're going to put this here. Because we want that output to show first, right? And this little banner will put, this means that the stuff you're seeing is after. The arrow's pointing down, for lack of a better word. This is the next set. Alright, so detect worker safety. And I want to copy that log message because I'm going to do this again. push. What do we say? Push. What we're looking for? Detect worker safety. Here he's calling. So this code, he's setting up to use recognition. We'll look at recognition here in a second. All right, and then he's calling here, get persons and hard hats. Does he have? Yeah. Here, okay, yeah. Here he's calling detect labels. This is, so he's setting up the client for recognition. He's saying, based upon the image and the file name that we were looking at earlier, right? Use that to perform a minimum confidence of what do you see with 60% or better probability. What are the labels? And we want we want the number of persons, and then I think here it's this. Yeah, this is a bounding box for people and a bounding box for hats. All right, so get person and hard hats. So right here. All right. So for every time we see a person, rather than, what they're doing is they're adding it to that list, we want to print out a little message in the log. That says, instead of it bucket name, we want to say just we want to print out some of the info that he's got. I gotta look that up, but for now, let me just say this. Person at, and he's got, see what he does here. Label responses, so it comes back with whatever the label response is. And it's a label, and you've got label instances, so anything with label. It's the labels response. Let me look at this. What am I going to print out? I guess for now, this is sufficient. There's nothing else I want to. Well, format. Let's do this. Format. What he's doing here. There's someone else. Hey, hello. We're looking at some code here. Okay, let's do. I just want to put a 0 here for now. There'll be a 0 in the output person at. We'll come back. Let's do the next thing for where we see a hard hat. We'll do that in the loop. We'll do that in the loop. Okay, we'll do it in the loop. And then we'll just put that for now. Okay, let's deploy this one. We'll save it, I think, and then deploy. For the new people who come in, we're working on the AWS deeplens, and we're going through their code, and we're trying to understand how it works at this point in time. We're still learning it. All right, we don't need this anymore. We don't need, this is where we're noting our stuff. Oh, because we did like so.
Okay. Thank you
Yep.
for telling telling about the topic we are working on.
Yeah. So once again, you should see a stream here that shows my fat old butt. Do you see that right there on the left?
Yeah.
All right, so that's the deeplens, this AWS deeplens camera that's uploading images now we're looking at the cloud function that's being processed by it, that's like updating some metrics, and it's using recognition. So let's see what we're doing here on this. Make sure we're at 1349. Okay, there's no refresh, so there is the refresh button. Just make sure that might be the last one when we deployed, but we're looking for 49. There we go. All right, and we want to go to the. We got a syntax error. So got to go back to the code. And where did I put it? Over here. Alright, we just formatted 0. Okay, let's go back to this. Find out what we did wrong, just give me a second. It's not that, that's literally just, oh. It's the spacing off. Why does he have that one? Like so. Okay. This is their code, not mine. I'm just tweaking it up. Let's see if that actually runs. So somewhere we had an error. Maybe it was the spacing, I don't know. Alright, let's go back. 1351. It's 1349. It might be in that stream, but since we deployed, it might have an update. There it does. Okay. Alright, so here we go. Now we can see them simulcast. Let's go to the end. He's going to update for us. Let's try and see if we put this guy in and see if what he's doing here. So he's seeing so don't worry about, like I said, this stuff here is the classifier that's running on the device. That's only, even though he's doing all this stuff, that's separate from this cloud function code, which is the one that we were just adjusting, right? And he's seeing 2 people, so maybe it could be this person from my hand or my shoulder, and maybe this is the other person. But he's not seeing the hat, right? So here, without looking at their code going into it, we're looking a little more detailed. He's seeing 2 people. He never has a hat label. Let's do this guy, which was working when we were getting both. Let's see what happens with him. I think we had to get really close with this to get this to work. He still does, so at the grand scale of things, he still doesn't see a guy with a hat, with a safety hat. I need to go this way. Okay, like that. There we go. Nope. Person with safety hat. We're looking for that to become a 1. It's not doing it now. Okay, we'll go back to the phone. Try to do the phone.
So in phone,
The
it's
yeah,
quickly, right?
yeah, the phone, I think, because it's in color also.
Yeah.
This means I'll have to take these originals and resume. Come on. Resume. We want to. It should see like a hat and then a person, right? On this in this log. Here we go. Yeah.
There's
So,
a, yeah.
so it's based upon the color. The color plays a role in it. I don't want today to go and spend time like I did earlier, just to show you what I'm gonna have to do. Is did I close out GIMP? I closed it out, I think. Let me. I don't. Do you guys want to? So what I'll have to do is I'll have to pull up GIMP, like I pulled when I showed at the very beginning, and with the GIMP, I'll have to create some. I'll take those things instead of just saving them. Actually, I've got them already. I've already got them. I got the files. What I need to do is take those files and send them to my phone from Linux, and that's a pain in the butt. And then I could pull them up there, and we could go and see if it literally has the bounding box info. Yeah, I guess I could do that in a bit. I'll do that when we're talking. But for now, let's look at the code a little more. Go back to where we were trying to print out. So this is where the math, this is how he's determining it based upon the bounding boxes. So let's look at this code a little bit. Let's see what he's doing here. A little bit. Persons append. He's putting all of this. Oops. This is not style, but I'm just using it because I don't know how this tool like breaks apart stuff. But there's our append, and then he's doing this guy. We really should print out what person contains, but it looks like it contains a bounding box. This is also from the person from the bounding box. And this is part of that bounding box coordinates bit. Get bounding box coordinates. I'm just curious where this routine comes from. Okay, he wrote that himself. Okay. He's returning the corners. Let's get the order here. That's the dictionary, right? Correct. And X1 is top left, is that right? Yeah, left top. Anybody following along know what the coordinates are on these guys, x4, y4? Is that so? would be top right. Top right. And actually, and then he's going up by the height. He's going up. Interesting. Okay, very good, very good, very good, very good. Okay, I need to look at this some more.
John?
Yep.
Can you scroll back up, please?
Uh-huh.
I think just what you wrote,
Yeah.
X2, Y2, it
Uh-huh.
looks like Y2 has the same height. So that's going to be the top. Okay, so that's the top and that's the left side. I see that now. Okay, that's good.
Right, so X2 is the same height, but
Mhm.
he's adding to it. So I would think that would this, but he's saying up here, this is left and top, but then he's
Yeah, that doesn't make sense because
yeah.
down there, on line 69, you have Y3 is Y1 plus box height.
Yeah. So it looks like he's almost he's like putting it the other way. So I'm trying. I'm not gonna worry about it now. I will look at it, but let's just look at it at a high level.
Yeah, these are important details. I know what you mean. These are kind of.
But the key is he's returning all 4 points, and
Sure.
the 1 and 3 is varying by the height. So you know that's lower left, but is it really lower? Maybe his coordinate system, one is positive going up and the other one is positive going down. I'm not real sure. We'd have to look at some, more things on it. So yada yada yada. It's the same. I would say it's the same as X2 and X3 are the same. So maybe this would be right because he is associated with, it's the same X. All right, so but that's not what I'm trying to figure out. He returns that, and he's going to have that dictionary there. And then what is this? That's that's the image height and width that goes into this, and then there's the confidence score. Okay. If we move this code just to make it look similar. So he's got 2 dictionaries with that, and then what he's doing is this match code, and look at the match here. And this is one of the things I wanted to look at, but I'm not think I'm going to do it today because I need really, in order to debug this, we need to be able, which I wanted to do, but it took us a while. I wanted to see, I wanted to see how, I wanted to fake this out so that, you would, when we throw up this picture, let me do this. Where are we? Not this. When I threw up this picture, like so, this was going to be the good test to see, like, oh, we've got our person on the, here's the bounding box, here's the bounding box, how big, how close did it have to be, right, to get it to say that those 2 guys were together, had a picture of a guy with a Howard hat on. So if you go back, we could at least see, like, how is it just left and right, up and down? It's a simple grader comparison, so it's not a threshold. Okay, so we're already doing this, so let's just look at it. for you to actually, you actually have to hit, right? He's doing a knot here. Where's the I don't know how to match braces on this. Okay, that's the whole thing. All right. So he's doing reverse logic. So he's saying the whole thing if not. So let's look at one of the conditions. This first one. Hard hat. Right side. Less than person. Left side. What was it? 1, 2, 1, 2. Let's look at this again. Oops. I have to write this down, sorry. One, 2, 3, 4. Okay, I think that's the way he's numbering that. So let's go back. So 2 is hard hat right. This was hard hat X1. X2 is top right, yep. X1 top left. Four is bottom left. Y1 top left. I'll make sure I got this right. I would have put the oars on the other side, but whatever. I'm doing this guy's spacing. Okay. All right. So X2, make sure, is top right. So is the top right. The next one is X1 is at the top left. The next one is Y4 is the bottom left. And the next one is Y1, which is top left. So what we should say is horizontal. Because it's the X coordinate. This is horizontal as well. This is vertical. Know that left side is right. This is person. All these are person, bounding box. And what is X1 is top right. No, top left. And X2 is top right. And this is Y1 top right, top left. All right, so let's make sure we got that right. So the bounding on the person, it's 1, which is associated with the top left. 2 is top right. Y1 would be top left. 4 would also be bottom left. So this is kind of odd. This one and this one, he's got those two, and then he's got these two, but he doesn't do 3. So he created 3, but none of them have 3. Right, so he's not looking at the third one. And maybe what I should say is horizontal here, because that's what the dimension is. It's looking. And this is the vertical comparison. Try and figure out what this thing is saying. Just give me a second. How to interpret this. Alright, we'll get 2 cards. So the Amazon is the hat. Alright, so he's looking to see if his hard hat top right is less than the top left horizontal. So all he's saying there is if I look at the cards or turn the camera off, you can see me, right? That would be false if, and you want it to be false, right? False is good. Hard hat top right. I'm holding it. I'm gonna try to. You will have to bear with me on the flip. Hard hat top right, and the horizontal is this guy. Is he less than the person in the top left, which is here? So he's just trying to make, if this guy is less than the horizontal than this guy, that means they're off bounds, right? But if he's like that, if this is the hard hat bounding box, from here all the way, keep going, he could be way over there, right? And they're saying that condition would be a failure, but then because you're doing a knot, it would be true. In the edge case for that part, that's just sliding it. Make sure the hat is above the guy's head, right? That would be, he's not on the guy's head. Over there would be, that would be on the guy's head. If that happened, this thing would be a 1 and the whole thing would go to 0. So right there we can see that's probably wrong, right? This is not 2 guys. This is a guy. This would still be a guy. Setting that thing to a 1, this thing becomes a 0, and he doesn't get the match there. Whatever. But that's how he's doing it. It's just simple adjacencies. We could improve upon it, I believe. What else we got going on here today? So we've made some adjustments to the code there. The code, like I said, on the other one, if you go back to functions, this is the code on the deeplens. which would be grand if we could literally, we'll add a log to it. We'll do the same kind of thing. We'll print a log and see if that log shows up. I don't know if that log will show up because this guy, here's the function code, because this guy is on the device, but let's see if we can figure it out. And it was just a simple print. Where is the push to S3? Right here. Let's deploy this. We've deployed that. Let's go to the, let's make sure we've saved it. We've saved, let's deploy. Is there a version on this? Anywhere? I don't know. Let's go to the deeplens and make sure. Let's change him to the, instead of version 1, let's put him to the latest version. Oh, that doesn't work. Let's close this. Let's go back to the deeplens. Edit. For the function, it only sees one function. We just put a print. Where did we put our print? Right there. We put a print. It's deployed. It's saved. Let's go back over here.
Are you saying you're updating so the camera has a new version of the software?
Yeah. We want the. So we were dorking with this function here, right?
Right, the cloud.
And we were able to see those log messages that we put out. We also want to have the same kind of thing done on the, so right here. Remember, we added.
Yeah, I don't see your screen with the code. So.
Oh, sorry. Okay, my bad. Did the cards help any?
Yeah, I see your point about the adjacency of the picture.
Yeah.
The two elements, the hat and the person.
Yeah. Okay. So is that presenting now? Do you see it now? You see a
Yes,
console?
I see it.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. So get back to. So we did a print, and we were able to see that in here. We'll just drag. We can drag this back. We don't need it detached now. We could see it up here. All right. Well, we should be able to also go back to the log groups and pull in, instead of cloud, we know all this is safety, right? S-A-F-E-T-Y. That's the other function, right? This is the function that's on the device. What I was trying to see that was odd was he has a version, right? And there's only one version. If I go, this is the cloud function. Let's go to the device. I don't know enough about this to know if there is like a second version. Like every time you save, does it automatically create another version or what? I don't see anything with like what the I don't see a version. Qualifiers. Versions. This is just latest. Yeah, latest is 1. No, there's there's two of them. Here's latest. Let's see if the latest and one both have that print statement that we just added. This has image set to S3 in latest. In version 1, this does not. So the one that's up there now doesn't have any prints in it. So let's go back to latest and see if we can make a new version. Publish new version. Okay, good. Hours with prints. Let's publish this. Okay, so version 2 should have the print. Yes, he does, right there. Okay. Alright, so let's go over here and now see if we can see. Let's go by edit, function. Version 2 is there now. Okay, groovy. Save. Okay, so that's working. Let's get rid of this. We're in log groups. There is no version 2 up here. Let's see what this does. So on resume 1422. So the log that's coming up here for this function saying work is posted, publishing message. Here's the lambda function. Alright, let's see if what we can see if where is our message embedded within here. Invoking lambda function. Let's see what happens when he invokes the lambda function. Is there a posting work for the function? Work posted. There's probably something here like if you could drill right to it if you knew what you were doing. So this is the invoking of the lambda function. I think this is the starting. This is the ending, this one here. Because this is the next one. He's not putting out the prints that are within it. This is the message that goes to the IoT topic. Work with invocation ID. I would think maybe this thing here you could look at possibly. So I don't understand how this works. Like, so the function that we deployed to the device, does that device actually get processed there, or does the deeplens camera send up some blob of info up
Right.
to here, and it gets invoked, and then he may send some results back or something? I don't know. And that might be what these things are. That's something to ask. So that's a good question that we should put in this thing. So if we were to edit, use the web IDE, oh my god, for a text file, but let's see what it does. So for this function, yeah, right, there's more info on this function here. Questions. Let's do this one. Let's take that log, see if we can copy. Oh, looks like no. See if we can copy. Here's the beginning. And that's the end. Control C. This is going to be interesting. Control V. So we know the copy bit is unnecessary. That's the button text at the end, right? And then some of that is a headline that's duped. So let's see if we can. Let's look at what he was pasting actually. So we'll have the time, and then you'll have the time, and it ends with whatever's on that line needs to be removed. So where'd it go? So you've got the time. This time we know is too much. That's a header. I think he's actually got all that text there if you don't expand it. So let's just do this. Let's get rid of all of this. Let's do this. Yeah, all the text is there for it with it out being expanded. See if I can click here. Okay. Whoops. Don't do that. Ah. Alright, let's click up there. We're looking for invoking lambda function and highlight from there, and then the end of publish and that looks sufficient. That's your 4 functions. He's saying he's ending, so I'm just going to drag this over, just kind of eyeball it, make sure this is right. So the first one, he should end with a quote and that number, he does. The second one, if you expand it, he should end with GG router, he does. The third one should end with F0, he does. The last one should end with GMT. The GMT bit did not get in there, so I gotta copy that separately. So this bit that has the E tag.
Excuse me, John. I got to drop off. Thanks.
All right. Yep. Thanks for showing up.
Okay. Thank you.
All right. So we had an E tag in there. Let's see if we see where did the E tag get cut off right here. It was a capital U E tag. Is there another E tag in there? Control F E T A G. Okay, there. So what happened was he was cutting off there. When you closed them and you expanded them, he was only getting that much. The other ones, I guess that was sufficient, because the first one has, yeah, so that's right. He just spaces it out, so like if you were to expand that, that would be, this would be expanded out. Alright, so that's that. That's a question we need to figure out. Alright, we can save this. Commit. Interesting. Okay, and then let's go commit. Is that right? I probably shouldn't have done this in the IDE. Should have just done it in the editor. Oh my god. Alright, whatever. Merge. We merged. Oh my god, okay. Whatever. It actually, we merged it. Close merge request. Alright, whatever. Let's see if that changed. Yeah, so that's in there. So that's sufficient. Alright, well that's that. I hear my dog barking. We went in. I'll send an email to the guy at AWS and I'll ask him about this and see if he gives us a response. And next time I'll have photos that I can put on my phone that are in color, because we can see that the black and white printouts didn't really work, and we'll go from there.
I have a question. Like, what is the main use case of the AWS deeplens? Is it used only in the like machine learning and data science, or it has other use cases as well?
Well, okay, this is the deep lens camera, right? It's from Amazon, and what they're trying to do, I think, is drive market share by giving developers some tools to do image ML with their platform. And I know a little bit about ML. I know a little bit about image processing. And I thought this would be, and then Jim was talking about doing a community effort where we as a group would do something. And so this is what we're trying to learn how it works. And basically, this repo here is what I started when I went through this tutorial here. And it's like the guy, there's one guy that wrote it, and then there's another guy from Amazon who's like the community guy. Oh, I'm not presenting this. Sorry, I'm talking. He wrote this tutorial. So one guy I think wrote the tutorial originally, and then the guy that I've got a contact with who provided me the camera said this is like where the documentation is that's current on how to use it. And this is literally right. This is the Amazon official statement. Then puts literally blah blah blah. You're using pre-trained models, and you can use it. So that's what we're doing, and we're on this intermediate tutorial. We haven't been to the advanced one yet. That looks like this. So we'll get into that. One of the things when I was talking to Jim, are you still online? Jim may not be here, but one of the things I was talking to him in private was that,
Sorry.
Oh yeah, there's Jim. Yeah, what I was saying is, if you can, let's look at Amazon recognition. Go here. So basically, they're using this in the cloud to determine what's there, and then they're using. Remember when they were like, we've got the bounding box for the hat and the bounding box for the person. That came from the recognition, right?
Mm.
So what I was thinking is, if they've got hats, they may have mask or face coverings. If they don't, I think we can train this thing, right? We can give it more images like that. I don't know what the API is. I haven't really looked at this recognition. The only recognition I know is that you can do that call, right? Not here, it was in the cloud version. Over here, what would be nice is if this thing was set up correctly for the detected persons, because what happens, I'm going to turn this thing off, in fact, because it's burning as we go. Remember I was saying S3. He's putting up an image right now every second, and we don't know if he's seeing people or not. I think we tested it by turning the camera over to the window there where there were no people. And so today's the 17th. So he created for every minute, every second, he put up an image, right? That you wouldn't want to do that in production. That image there is the same as this one 1 second later, right? And so on and so forth. So what I want to do is to debug the code. Where are we? I want to debug that Lambda code so that we're not setting up an image every second, right? We want to set up an image when it's legitimately he only sees a person, and something in the guy's code is wrong because he's putting it up every second. Does that make sense?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so we'll look at that next. And one of the ways that I would like to do it, first I like to learn a little bit about, the thing in general, like at a high level, working it, right? And we did that a little bit with what we were doing today. We didn't get in there enough because I wanted to print out X and Y's, but I want to be able to do it by holding a photo up and saying, you know, I know where this bounding box is, right? Does he detect it? And and do that. That's the recognition, but we also need to come over to the other side and check his logic there. We literally need to only do it when there legitimately is somebody there and not every second. But so that's that. I don't have anything else. Like, you guys have something else?
No.
The only other question you may, so some of you may be new to this, Joyce, when we got this kit, the guy said, "Can you do a write up on how you used it and learned it and stuff?" And so that's why I also started doing this stream. I'm not making money off of the stream, but we can literally point people, like if they want to use this device, see our suffering, they can go back and look at the video. And they've got the GitHub repo. And we'll give that to Amazon, and I think we'll have fulfilled our obligation for the free device.
So are you doing it from like 3 4 months, or are you working on this AWS deeplens?
So we got this deeplens, I think, in November. I think is when we first started working with it, maybe October. But it took us a while to get to this point because that guide that I showed has some errors in it. It has errors and omissions, but the one that I was writing, the one that we edited, that's, I think, goes well with it. But you could also just use that to do it yourself, right? Does that make sense?
Yeah. So just last question. Are you all, this group is also working on technologies related to the web development? Are we using any kind of learning about EC2 or Kubernetes or
Uh,
CloudFront or something else, something like that?
yeah, yeah. So each Sunday we do 2 sessions. We do AWS at 1, and prior to this, it was just AWS in general, like how to do S3. We did programming, right? We did a lot of quick labs with Microsoft Windows, where you actually wrote like C code and have it, it wasn't C, it was like .NET code, but it's C language like, to interact with Amazon. We've done a lot of Docker and Kubernetes with the GCP meetup. So also on Sundays at 10 a.m., I taught Google Cloud Platform, and there was not as many people. At times we had like 80 people when we were doing some joint stuff with other users groups. And there it's not so focused on machine learning. Today we did a lab on Cloud Run and Cloud Schedule, and it was on like IP addresses associated with a compute engine. Compute engine is Google's name for Amazon's EC2 instance, right? So.
Yeah. So just a question, just another question related to this last question.
Uh huh.
Are we only working on .NET with AWS, or are we also working on Java? Like I am working with Java only. Like I majorly work with Java.
Java. Yeah,
I know.
so The only reason I'm not a big fan of Microsoft. The only reason I was doing .NET was that it was one of the labs that I was doing at the time for AWS, and that was why we started with that. And it was a lab that was available on Quick Labs. Are you familiar with Quick Labs, any?
Yeah. Like I'm aware that Quick Labs are providing some. Like I just know like they are providing some coupons for like GDG platform so that users can uh, do some stuff without spending some money.
Yep, exactly. Yeah, so there's a lot more GCP stuff up there for sure. But for Amazon, when that was how I was just like learning it, right? So I'm not an expert. Don't claim to be an expert. But that's how I started. When we get through with this, uh, let me rephrase that. I think we're going to be dealing with deeplens for a long time. But when we get through like the initial hump of learning how it works, then we can actually start doing something with it, and that's really what I want to get to, because um, with GCP, there's a lot of quick labs, and you can just do something, right? And that kind of gets your chops up. With AWS, I don't see that. So you got to kind of either follow a guide, but with this, if we can follow this guide enough and learn how to do things based upon what we want to do here, we can kind of learn that system differently than we learn GCP, and it's might be better, right? Because we don't have these labs just to go in week after week. But the goal is to actually do something, and one day we're going to get to the point in time where we got to like build some sort of web app. That web app could be written in Java, it could be written in Dart, it could be written in whatever JavaScript, but we're not there yet. We want to actually learn this device first.
Okay. Okay, got it. So like another lab is like if we consider what is the time in your time zone?
What's that?
What is the time in your time zone now?
The time zone now, it is 2:50 in the afternoon. It's almost 3 p.m. in the afternoon.
Okay, 3 hours 15 minutes earlier you have another session, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
Yep, you're
Yeah,
welcome. You're
that's
welcome. Well, that's that. Hey, today I'm going to put down. We learned a little bit about that code. We got like a good question. The question is, where is that the deeplens code run? We also looked at the console log. We definitely know how to print to the log versus having to go into like those metrics. So that's good. And I think that once we get some better pictures that we can play with, we should be able to see some more info. And what we'll try to do is print out like some bounding box info for that comparison to look at some numbers when we do that again. And we'll pick up from there. And I guess we'll end at that unless anybody has any last comments before we close out.
Yep.
Anybody want anything to share? Anything? Tell about what you've been doing or anything other than that? What's that?
Just another question.
Okay, go ahead.
Sorry to interrupt you again. So, like, what is your plan for next Sunday at 10 a.m.?
Yeah, so at
10 or
Sunday at 10 a.m. is the GCP one. You can get, let me pull that up here, community. Let's see. I'll put it in the thing there. Okay. Log in. Let's see. Where is it? Let me do this. Let me do this. second. Alright, so let's put this back. I'll get you the link, just give me a second. Let's see if this works. So there you go. I put it in chat. It's gdgcommunity.dev gdg-cloud RTP, and there you can. That was Andrew. That was the guy that was on here earlier, and that's Laverne who's on the call now. There should be more organizers than that, but maybe not everybody's logged in. But you can go there and get it. Am I presenting that? I think I am, right? Oh, all right. All right. Well, if that's that, I guess we'll call it a day. Is that